Hello, Force fans. Good evening. I'm back again. Sorry. Um, it's gone quite dark here now, but I'm enjoying the evening, just chilling in the garden. It's quite quiet, nice and peaceful. Um, I'm just gonna have a little chat to the camera about about a few things, really. So someone was asking me earlier, what figures do I want released in Black Series in 2027, specifically from the original trilogy? Okay, so to answer that question, great question. I'm gonna go from A New Hope to Return of the Jedi, and I'm gonna select four characters from each that I want to see at some point, preferably next year. Now, they're not going to do like 20 original trilogy characters next year. I'm not stupid, you know what I mean? But I think we're going to get at least five great ones next year. So my choices are going to be single figures. One that I want as a potential 2-pack, and one that I want as a vignette. Okay, so I'm going to start with A New Hope first of all. Okay, give you a little bit of history on why I want these two particular characters at the moment. I want an Owen Lars and an Aunt Beru figure in 6-inch scale. Okay, I thought about this a lot. Now, the reasons I want them, okay, is they are quintessentially vital to the story in A New Hope from Luke Skywalker's perspective. Okay, they raised him as a child, you know. You know the story. They raised him as a child. They knew who that his dad was, Anakin Skywalker. You know, there was Ben Kenobi, Obi-Wan, in the background. You know, there was in the old canon, or the old legends as they call it now, you know, you had this whole thing about Owen and Obi-Wan, you know, not getting along. It was hinted at in the Kenobi show as well, which was great, by the way. I like that show. But I want those two figures on my shelf, okay? Now, I don't mind any form of reuse of parts to formulate those figures, okay? I do want a soft goods robe for Owen, okay? And I don't really care about having too much detail of the underneath body. In A New Hope, we only ever see him anyway in that big shabby desert robe, you know. And with Beru, again, she could have. I'm not particularly bothered if she has soft goods at all. Just put her in a plastic dress, make her look similar to the original Power of the Jedi figure, or was it Power of the Force? Can't quite remember. But just do it nice and simple. Just get the likeness right. You know, the photo real as much as possible. We don't need interchangeable heads on an Owen and Beru. We don't need that at all. Just get the facial likeness right. What I'd like to see is, in terms of accessories for those two, if they were to do it in a 2-pack, well, let me put a caveat on that. Let's make it a 3-pack, Owen Beru, and pop it in with like a Treadwell droid, or a droid from the Lars Homestead. Okay, you could put that in as an accessory, but you could also put in a blue milk, you know, for Beru. All right, I'm not by any way wishing that Hasbro give us burned skeletons of Aunt Beru and Uncle Owen. Okay, not at all. Would be cool, but you know, a little bit macabre. So that's number one from A New Hope. Number two has to be Garindan, the spy. What's that noise, mate? He goes something like that, you know. But they've done him in every line now. They've done him in the retro line that was released recently. That's a great little figure, by the way. I don't own it, but it's a cool little figure. They've done him in the Power of the Jedi line, I think, as well. Maybe Power of the Force. He's recently come out in the vintage collection, and that figure looks incredible. And Sideshow or Hot Toys did him as well. So I want him in the Black Series. Okay, soft goods, blaster, the little communicator thing. That's number two, Garindan. I just love the look of him as well. You know, he's got that kind of he's just got that kind of quintessential weirdness to him, I think. You know, in the dark robes and everything. He kind of looks like I can't say the term, but just think Germany, think the war. He's kind of got that kind of weird aesthetic to him, you know, like you can imagine, like with someone with a gas mask, for instance. You know, it's got that kind of thing to him anyway, in my head. So that's number two. Number three, I want a black uniformed Death Star officer, like the one like we see. Is it Bast in A New Hope, or is his grey? I can't quite. I think it's black, but it's a defining image. Okay, it doesn't look a lot when you look at stills. It doesn't look a lot in terms of overall detail. Okay, but that figure, you know, the original Kenner one that we had, that was great. They've done him in other earlier lines, like Power of the Jedi, the Legacy collection. You know, I think they did him along with a Death Star technician as well, with the crates. That was cool. I'd love to see things like that as well, you know. But that Death Star, that black uniform officer with a black cap, I would love to see it. It shouldn't take an awful lot of tooling to do that, because we've already got like an Imperial officer body. You know, they could basically take a Rampart figure, you know what I mean, and just modify it slightly, paint it black, give him the hat, you know. So that's number three. Okay, now number four, I'm gonna go to the Cantina for this one. Okay, we've had Moma Nadon, brilliant alien. We've had Greedo, obviously. I would love to see a Nabran Leeds, is it? Nabran Leeds, the four-armed guy with the silver spacesuit, recently come out in TVC for the HasLab Cantina. I want to see him in 6-inch. Okay, I think with the work Hasbro are doing right now on the Black Series, I think that they could do wonders with that particular figure. You know, I think they probably put him as a deluxe though, because of all the, you know, the additional tooling and in the extra arms and stuff. But I would pump down for that. I'd love a Nabran Leeds. I'm gonna cheat a little by giving two other Canteen aliens. Okay, I want to see a Labria. Again, recently done in the TVC Canteen Alien 4-pack. I'd love to see that figure in 6-inch. I can already envisage the devil face and the horns. You know, speaking of horned characters, I mean, Hasbro are killing it with their Darth Mauls and the Savage Oppresses and the recent Icarus as well. So they can do that kind of extra detail and stuff like that. So I'd love to see that particular figure as well. Again, one that come out in the Power of the old cinema scene, Power of the Force line. I think he come out again in maybe the Legacy collection as well. Always loved the character. He's on the screen for like, you know, half a second at best, maybe one or 2 seconds maybe, you know, but he's always been a standout. Number three is Snaggletooth. He was a kind of figure I had. I had the little, the one in red. Never owned that taller one in the blue with the disco boots. Never owned that one. I don't want that one to come out in the Black Series. I want the smaller one. Now, I know I've always known him as Snaggletooth, but I think maybe now, in terms of official canon, I think he might be called Tequil or something, and he had a kind, I think they did him in other lines, and he had sort of a hunchback. I'll have to watch the movie again. I can't quite remember if Snaggletooth is Tequil, you know, but anyway, I want that figure in the Black Series anyway. Again, a little brilliant character. So where are we at now? So that is number, so we've had Owen and Beru, there's number 1, we've had Garandan, we've had the Death Star officer, right, so I'm on number 5 now, number 5. Oh, right, number 5. I want a brand new, newly tooled, designed from the ground up. I want a Luke and Han in Stormtrooper disguise. Okay. I want Luke to be shorter. I want Han to be taller. In terms of accessories, I would like them to be holding, I think it's Han with the longer rifle and Luke with the smaller one. I could be wrong, there could be vice versa. But I want them to also include a set of binders. So I can utilize those on the brilliant Black Series Chewbacca that come out in 2024, maybe early 2025. I want to recreate that scene. Okay, now they can do wonders now. They've got the 3.0 clone body. I'm sure they could retool that into a brand new Stormtrooper. Okay, I was recently going to pick up the Blockies Han and Luke, but and I do have a few opinions on Blockies. I think their troopers look fantastic, even though they're not quite 6-inch scale. Now everyone's raving about Blockies, rightfully, for their troopers and their Bo-Katan that they've done and the Mandalorian. They look great. I will struggle with any enthusiasm for them when it comes to their kind of, if they do delve into like aliens. I'm not quite sure how well that might work. They could completely surprise me, but I just think it's going to take a lot of intricacies, and I think that army builders, troopers, might be their better option. You know, I saw the recent Anakin, by the way. It looks good. It looks good, but it's a very animated aesthetic to it, you know. And if they did an animated show for Star Wars again, you know, and they release figures like Blockies, but by Hasbro, but animated, I'll be down for that as well. Anyway, I don't want to get off track, so let's talk about then the San Diego Comic-Con potential. This doesn't have to be SDCC. It could also be a Hasbro Pulse. Could even go as far as a Black Series HasLab. Okay, but my choice would be, I would like to finally own a Bantha at 6-inch scale as a proper creature with a brand new retooled Tusken Raider I've got a couple of the originals that come out. They are quite good. Let me just check the battery on my camera. Yeah, I'm okay for a little while. Yeah, so I want a newly tooled Tusken Raider, but I want the Bantha. I've got the dewback, and I don't think that dewback needs to be re-released. Well, it can be re-released, but it doesn't need to be retooled, repainted. I think the original dewback is absolutely fine. The articulation is great on it. You know, the weathering. You know, it doesn't need anything. And I think it would be a waste, personally. You can still get the dewback, and it doesn't cost that much. In all fairness, you know, it is out there. So Hasbro need to do. They need to do a Bantha. I really want the Bantha. I just think it would be amazing. I'm toying whether it should be real fur or molded plastic. I'm guessing real fur would probably be a lot better. But I've seen the TVC Bantha that people have bought, and I've actually seen people who said that they have to brush it quite often as well to keep it all looking in place. And I don't know if I want to do that, to be honest with you. It's just that life's enough as it is. You know what I mean? You know, it's not a real pet. It's not a dog. It's a toy. You know what I mean? It's a toy. It's just got fake fur on it. You know what I mean? It should stay in place. But anyway, going off on a rant there. In terms of a vignette for A New Hope, there could be two here. The most obvious one would be Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader on the Death Star. They could give us the shiny matte flooring. You know, they could give us the background, you know, and maybe there's a button on there where the door, you know, can slide open or whatever. It would also give them an opportunity to give us a brand new retooled Vader, potentially with the red eyes as well, pinless legs, hopefully a wired cape, but smaller and cut to more defined than the one that they gave us in the Empire Strikes Back duel. I love that set completely, but that Vader cape was ridiculous in its size when it's stretched out. There's a lot of material there, so they could definitely rework that. It would also give them an opportunity to give us finally a brand new Ben Kenobi, soft goods robe, soft goods skirt, you know, because it's horrible at the moment. I got the land speeder, you know, we got a great Luke that can sit in it, you know, but Ben Kenobi can't. It needs to be done. Vintage Collection recently got a new Ben Kenobi. That figure was brilliant. You know, barbell hips, you know, soft goods skirt. It can sit. That's all you want. So there is that opportunity to do it. But if they were going to do another vignette, then the only one I can really envisage them doing could be actually two. The attempt they could actually do. Oh god, it's three in my head now. Sorry guys. Right, okay. Right. Trash compactor scene. Right. Include Leia, Chewie, Han, Luke. 4-pack, 6-inch scale trash compactor, Dianoga, fully weathered, you know, fully realized. I've got a 3D printed version that I've painted and so forth. Absolutely brilliant. I'll do a little video on that actually at some point, because I do quite like it. But they could maybe have a feature on it where the walls come in as well, you know. Not sure how they do it, how they tool it with with moving rubble and stuff like that. But that would be a kind of a vignette that they could do. Another one would be, again, going back to my Han and Luke Stormtrooper, but they could do, they could give us that, it could be the shootout in the Death Star prison block. You could get, you know, just a tiny portion of it with the console, the black suited officer, you know, maybe give him a blast effect or something, you know, little security cameras on the walls. Again, those new figures. I did have a third in my head, but it's actually gone. But those two would be cool. I mean, I don't want them to do, if they did anything like a vignette from A New Hope, I do not want to see them do, yet again, the Han and Greedo encounter. That has been done to death. To death. Okay, it's a great scene. It's a great scene, right? Yes, you could argue, oh, well, we could get, you know, we could finally get a booth for the cantina. You know, if they do it once, they might be able to do more and stuff like that. I just don't want to see it anymore. You know what I mean? It's been done in every line. It's you know, I think Hasbro need to think outside the box with that one. So, yeah. So, anyway, let me just check my camera again. Right, guys, I got 11% battery, so I'm going to try and get through the rest of this now. The rest of my wants. So, let's go on to Empire Strikes Back. Okay, I got 4 figures for this one to start us off. Number 1, Lobot. Always loved the character. He was my favourite character as a child in the Kenner range. I've had him in the Kenner range. I've had him in every other line. I've recently picked up the TVC version because I just want the Lobot. I can't explain why fully. I love the character, but he was always one I just gravitated to as a kid. I don't know why. Maybe he just looked like a cool guy. Like, he looked like, you know, a guy in control sort of thing. But anyway, loved the character, loved the design, the Seinfeld puffy shirt. You know, he's got it all. Want him without question. Bespin security guards, I want a 2-pack of those. The white guy, the African American guy, I want those in the line as well. I want Ugnaughts, a single release or a 2-pack. I want those. I'd also love to go back to the Battle of Hoth as well. I want the Rebel Hoth officer with the brown ghillie, or Major Bren Derlin, Cliff from Cheers. I want that style of uniform for Echo Base. I've got loads of the Hoth troopers. I got, you know, but I think I want that particular look because, again, it harks back to the Kenner days, you know. And TVC did an Army Builder 4-pack of those as well. Brilliant. So that is Empire Strikes Back. I could say a new Lando, maybe make him a bit slimmer, with a soft goods cape, a better likeness, maybe a swappable head with a Billy D. Williams smile on there. Okay. Return of the Jedi then. Number 1, absolutely without question, more Jabba's goons. Okay. Now there's a rumored Tessic on the cards, which I think would be an incredible looking figure when it comes out, or if it comes out. I don't trust these rumors a lot. You know, how long have we been waiting for Blind Kanan, for God's sake? He's been rumoured for about 3 years. He hasn't appeared yet. Anyway, Tessic we got. I would like an EV99, an 8D8 as well. I would like a Reese. I would like Yak Face. I would like a Weequay Skiff Guard as well. I think, to be honest with you, at this point, I would take any Jabba's alien. that's fairly prominent on screen, you know. I know that I know there's people out there who, you know, oh, they want, you know, they want the second guy from the left, right, you know, right at the back, you know, who's on the screen for like a second, you know what I mean? I want the ones that are prominent, you know what I mean? But knowing Hasbro, they'll probably give us a bloody Dengar in in Return of the Jedi, because he was in that film, you know, or they give us a Bosk. Well, if they give us a Bosk, they'll give us hopefully a brand new, newly tooled Bosk anyway, you know. So, you know, there's hope there. But yeah, in terms of, you know, in terms of a 2-pack for Return of the Jedi, no, scrap that. I think they could do a Black Series HasLab skiff with a selection of figures. They could finally give us that Jedi Knight Luke with the proper tunic, the one that was meant to be for the Rancor, on that card with the coin. I don't care about the coin, you know, I'm not a carded guy. I've covered that point many times. But I would love to see that particular Jedi Knight tunic on Luke. You know, 6-inch scale skiff. You know, give us a Pote Snitkin, give us a Weequay, give us Han Solo when he's out of carbonite, give us a Chewie, the new Chewie with the windswept hair. That would be amazing as well. They'll probably, you know, they'll probably do so. I can imagine them doing a final duel set as well, with the Emperor, a new Vader, and a new Jedi Luke from Death Star 2. Again, a set that's been done to death, but it's still iconic, so you couldn't blame them really. But I'd love to see Pruneface or Oromarco from Return of the Jedi as well. I'd love to see a new Endor Rebel Trooper, but one with the soft goods, you know, camouflage jacket. You know, maybe a different head sculpt on there. We're missing Logray, Chief Chirper. You know, we are missing a few little Ewoks as well. But for Return of the Jedi, they could do cool things. They could give us a C-3PO on the throne. They could give us a Han Solo tied to the spit as well, with 2 additional Ewoks as well. How cool would that be? You know, but they could do it. They could give us the Ewok glider. They could give us a HasLab AT-ST. Oh, chef's kiss if they ever did that one. You know, AT-ST driver, brand new Chewie, bonus Han Solo head when he's in that particular disguise as well. You know, there's just so much, guys, so much from the original trilogy that's still left to be done in the Black Series. But anyway, I gotta cut this video short now, unfortunately, because my battery is going. I'm still on my phone. I can't get that camera together yet. But anyway, I hope you like this. Please give me a like and a subscribe. Leave your comments below. I do like talking like this. I know I'm talking to myself at the moment, but just giving you my old Black Series thoughts anyway. So anyway, I'm Shane. I hope you have a lovely evening, and may the force be with you. Bye bye.